What's up, everybody? Dipcatcher Radio back again. Another exciting day in Hexaco, an even more exciting day in Maximus. With the launch of Maximus Poly, we are almost through 2 full complete days, right? Started Friday evening through Saturday evening, now approaching Sunday evening, and it's been quite the ride. It's been the most controversial Maximus product launched to date, which is very bullish. And we've really struck a chord, I think. So very proud of everyone who participated. If you haven't participated and this is your first time learning about it, what Poly is a pool for trustless participation in these things that are called HSI liquidation auctions. Basically, a bunch of hex stakes are going to be auctioned off starting in about a week. And so rather than bidding on your own, you can join this pool and then bid as part of a collective. This gives the benefits of lower gas fees for ending the hex stakes, access to higher value stakes than what you could afford on your own, and enhanced liquidity. So a lot of awesome benefits for users. It's also massively beneficial to the Hex ecosystem because it keeps money in the Hex ecosystem that would otherwise be, extracted from gas if everyone is holding their own stakes instead of just, collectively bundling in a pool. And then also it helps the ICOSA ecosystem by preventing a whole lot of ICOSA supply that could have hit the market from doing that. So the people that really understand ICOSA love it. The people that are, there's a salty cohort that's really upset about it, but they're really just upset with themselves and they take it out on me, which I'm okay with. I will be their punching bag. Awesome benefits for everybody. It's really a great time. Great time to be alive. Mystery says, hello, enjoy my water. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention. So water is the sister token of Poly, which is a donation bucket for supplying a healthy budget of Ethereum for gas fees for the executor who is in charge of the bid execution on behalf of Poly. Water stands for We Are All the Executor. And it was just going to be a regular donation, because people, the Maximus community is very generous. There have been, I've mentioned them in the past. There have been over 5 events where we've asked for donations and people have just done it and donated shocking amounts of money. So rather than just asking, people to, send some ETH to the executor, because the executor would be covering all the gas costs and all the related costs of executing their strategy on their own. We welcome people to donate to their ETH budget. And in exchange for that, you get water tokens. 369 water can be minted per 1 ETH deposited to the We Are All the Executor contract. And they're worth nothing. Literally, they're not backed by anything. They're not redeemable for anything. They're just tokens. They do nothing. No staking, no pump. I guess it does have some. The only pumpamental is just that over time, the amount that you can get by depositing ETH just becomes more scarce. So it starts at 369 per ETH, then it dwindles down. It cuts in thirds every 36 days until no more can be minted after about 216 days. And it's really just an awesome symbol of your support to Maximus DAO. And other than that, it's literally nothing. Don't view it like an investment. It's donation bucket. But what's odd about that is because it is not meant to be an investment, but it is very scarce. It has a very scarce monetary policy. And because realistically how much money can go in there, probably not very much. It's just a donation. So, you don't put huge sums of money in donations. But what that means is that there probably isn't going to be very much of it available. And perhaps the people that do own water might, not want to sell it at all. So And what if suddenly there just becomes massive demand for water? It's pretty funny that because it is like was mainly a donation mechanism, it could accidentally become like a 10,000x thing. Who knows? It's unlikely, but because it's unlikely, the more unlikely it is, the higher the multiple can be. So that's pretty. I'm very, very, very pleased with the water participation. That really can help the executor perform, and it's fully opt-in too. We thought about doing some type of mechanism like that into the poly minting, but we thought that might limit participation, and so we thought maybe we'll just reward the most dedicated members with water tokens for donating ETH to help the executor cover their costs. And so we appreciate all those that have minted water. Why don't we look at speaking of water, why don't we pull up the screen here and let's talk through the numbers. Okay, so let's just go here. We can toggle through. Let's connect. So far there's 3.14159. Oh my God, that's almost pi. 3.1415926535870533846264338071104. I'm just kidding. I don't know that many digits of pi. 314 billion poly has been minted. That puts us at the number 21 spot in terms of all of the liquid Hedron holders. There's a pretty big gap here. It's pretty interesting. I was just tweeting about it, where if you ignore the liquidity pools, the next largest is 208 billion, and then the next smallest is 208 billion, so about 50% smaller. And a third smaller. We are 50% larger than them. They are 1/3 smaller than us. And then the next largest one is 396 billion. So there's actually a big gap between 400 billion and 200 billion that we kind of fill right there. And again, we have a week left. We're closing in on the second full day of minting. We have about 7 full days left to mint your poly. And who knows where we end up. I wonder where. I really want to hit 1 trillion. I feel like 1 trillion would be a lot. But what's pretty crazy is that like the larger we get, the more of these people that we might just swallow up. So it could get crazy, especially in that last day. It's gonna be wild. A true shit show. Speaking of shit shows, you should check out the ICOSA chat group and see how angered some of these people are. It's like one group of people are like, oh, this is awesome. It totally makes sense. Awesome strategy. Great benefits to the ecosystem. And there's this other cohort of people that are like, you're not doing it how it's supposed to be. This is not what it's supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, then why are these functions in the contract? Like, why can't you do this? If you weren't supposed to do it, it would not be allowed. And two, it's like, okay, I'm not there telling you what to do with your money or what not to do. So it's kind of funny. And I definitely push back. I do need to kind of lever down a little bit in terms of that. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like I like to meet people where they're at. Like if someone's acting like a crazed lunatic, it's like I want to meet them where they're at. I want to be a crazed lunatic. Like I want to match that. Or someone's like a well-reasoned conversation, it's like I want to reach them there. But I don't want to hijack the whole chat, and I don't want to make it all about me. But also I do think it's important to stand up for ideas that you believe in, and that is what I will always do. So maybe they should just like block me or something. So I come in with an alt account. I'll come in with the executor account. Even though you should not assume that I'm the executor. I'm actually, it shows me the plan's working that people assume that I'm the executor. Can you confirm ETH dub and ETH support? Yeah, just try. Yeah, they're live. I actually launched to ETH dub and ETH before I launched to mainnet. Water, you're not telling me. Okay, speaking of water, let's look at the water numbers. So oh, that's the dev one. Here we go. Let's see, am I on the right network? Yep. Okay, so we had 314 billion poly, and we have 9,042 water. And so why don't we look at the portfolio dot poly.maximus.cash. $24.5 ETH has been converted into water. That's pretty wild. It's such a tough decision because it's like, okay, it's literally like you're donating, like that ETH is no longer yours. Like the ETH is now at the executor's discretion to use however they choose. But because it's got this awesome supply issuance schedule, and it becomes quite scarce, and who knows what could happen in the future. And it's got an awesome name, awesome ticker. Like literally, it's like 3 for 3 on awesomeness, but like not backed by anything and not literally has no use case. And only like, you know, $39,000 is going into it during the mint. Like, who knows? You shouldn't assume that water goes up at all. But with Poly is kind of bound to its portfolio, right? It's just like the pools, you know, it's a token backed by their assets. So it's in some ways bonded to the value of the underlying assets. Since water has no underlying asset, it really, like, it's almost like it's unbounded. So who knows? That's going to be wild. That would be really funny if, I don't know. But another important number to look at here is that the 85% bidding budget. So when you mint your poly, I get confused so much. When you mint your poly, you put in an amount that you want to mint with, or you want to bid on. So if you think that there's high risk of executor underperforming, maybe just give them a lower budget. If you think the executor is just going to make it happen, then do 100% budget. You can go between 50 and 100%. And so far, what we've seen is that the poly minters have voted together to implement a 85% HSI bidding budget. So that is at 267 billion Hedron. And so that puts, we're right. So we're right there. There's only 20 addresses larger than that. Let's see. There are only 20 Hedron addresses with liquid balances greater than the poly.maximus poly bidding HSI bidding. Hi, I appreciate everything you're doing for the crabs. How do you think a subpoena on Hex affect poly? Not at all. Who cares, really? Did you get subpoenaed? If you didn't get subpoenaed, why do you care? It's not a subpoena on Hex, it's a subpoena on people. And what can they do? Hey, y'all. Just minted a bunch of poly in ETH. Will the executor be fighting for me? Maybe. The executor may also just not do anything. The executor, and maybe, you know, the executor could find the smallest HSI and then bid all of the tokens on it. Literally. The executor could do anything. You should have no expectations of executor performance. But it is the same set of executor addresses that are on ETH-dub and ETH-F. To be clear. Did my poly yesterday. Do more today. How long is the minting poly for? And for about 1 more week. No, 8 more days, right? Well, 7 more full days, which starts as the day ticks over in about 3 hours. That's funny. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's funny because, like, what they're asking for is more competition in their own strategy. And that's the thing about these, like, so whenever there's like the peanut gallery and they are all just like gung-ho about a certain strategy and they don't really know why, but they just do it because they heard someone on YouTube saying to do it, or they like just kind of latched onto the crowd. Like, that's like the perfect opportunity to take the other side of that position. So it's like when everyone is just like certain that there's one particular strategy that's great, it's like that's just huge opportunity for some other adjacent strategy. It's like, and if we were to just join the strategy that they're all parroting, it's like, okay, now they're all actually getting diluted. Like, we're helping them in the same way that since Maxi holds the hedron till the end, it's like we're, by us holding these HSIs till the end and not minting Icosa, we're allowing there to be more future Icosa minting. What if we were minting the Icosa and selling it? Then there would be no more new ones, because no one would. It would be a waste of money to mint your HSI into Icosa. But you know, that's the difference between us and them, right? It's like some people think about it, some people don't, and which is fine. You know, like sometimes the best strategy is to not think about it, but you know, it's okay for people to disagree because we all come at it from a different perspective. But you know, I prefer to be in strategies that have unique. So it's like, of course, I'm not going to do the thing with the peanut galleries. I'll just parroting. Easy choice. Getting my water filled to send. Awesome. Yeah, this pooled strategy is more efficient. I agree. Pretty wild. Let's take a look at the HSIs coming to auction. So there's 850 HSIs between 100,000 and 10 million hex. There's this cohort of the largest ones here, which, so I mean, this site is available. Like, you can look at it now. This site's going away pretty soon. I pretty much stopped working on this one and started working on another site, because I'm building a dashboard that I'm going to give to the executors so that they can perform bidding. That has various information, different analytics on these, live, auction tracking, and some automated bid strategies that they can implement. So this site right here is kind of like just as I was pulling in all the information and just kind of piecing together. So it's up for now. You can see the URL right there, but it's probably going away pretty soon. So enjoy it while it's there. But with the budget we have, so we have, what do we say? 314 billion hedron and 267 billion in the budget. So if this all stopped right now, if minting ended or no one minted after this, then we could just snipe these ones at the pool value and be done with it. That'd be funny. Wouldn't that be funny if we just like, because those are pretty big, right? And um, the starting bid is going to be this mintable hedron value. So I think it's this mintable. I mean, it's going to be roughly this, right? Because the starting value is the borrowed amount, and assuming that they borrowed all of it. So it's the borrowed amount plus a little bit of interest. So that should just be this like mintable hedron value. There may be some nuance to exactly the number is per stake, but roughly that's what the starting bid will be. So I don't want to give away too much because all my good ideas I'm just giving to the executive. All my things that are just like all the things that are just plainly obvious and conclusions that you might have came to on your own, sure, I'll discuss here. But like the actual high impact ideas and strategy and analysis, that is not going on YouTube. That is going straight into the suggestion box, which is the other little piece of the poly.maximus system, where if you have poly or if you have water, you can write messages to the executor. And these messages show up in the executor's dashboard. And so if you have ideas on what stakes you think it should target, feel free to share. And then the executor can look. The way you do this is you put in a message and then you sign it with your address. And so when the executor gets all these messages, they can confirm how much poly or how much water that the people who are giving ideas have, so that they can gauge how seriously to take their suggestion. So it's a pretty cool like off-chain governance and strategy system where you have the executor, which is the one that takes the action at their discretion on behalf of the whole. But then in an off-chain way, we can pass messages that are cryptographically proven to be from community members, to kind of crowdsource knowledge and information. So it's pretty. I think this is like a really awesome concept of the, where users delegate the execution to one thing, mainly for logistics reasons, and for because it's like if we did like an open voting where people had to like vote on what to bid on and what to bid, it's like we'd end up getting some average that would probably be a poor performing bid, and then it's open to everyone to see, and maybe some nefarious character who minted a lot could be swaying the vote to like keep it away from things that they're targeting. So when there's a level of discretion to be had, when the collective is participating, it kind of makes more sense just for people to delegate that action to something like the executor. So, but there is value in people's ideas and suggestions and way of thinking. And so, but you don't want to publish that stuff to the chain, right? Like you don't want like on-chain voting on this stuff. So like this signature-based off-chain suggestion box, I think is an awesome way that can surface information. So I'm quite happy. That's a handy feature. Forgot who made it. It was on Twitter. Shows days and bonuses and auction days and all. Very impressive. Yeah, so that was the Hex model, and Dev Huey made it. So let's see. Let's see how our stuff matches up. So let's do the stake tax. Let's see the largest ones at 10 million one. Okay, yeah, December 19th. So I think this is starting bid. Weird how mine didn't collect this one. Yep, no cost to sign. Click on the color. Yeah. Congratulations, DC and GKey. Awesome humans. Thank you. Water, 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 water. Yeah. Splash. Yup. Ooh. Yeah. Splash. Water. Poly. Water. Poly. Water. Poly. Water. I got it. You want it. $40,000 in the executive gas budget. 25.51 ETH. 315 billion hedron. 268 billion are going to be staked. I wonder how can we figure this out? Does anyone are there any sites that show the hedron stakers? How many billion would that be? So 0.15, or do we say 315 minus 268? So 47 billion. So why don't we do this? Because I do have to go pretty soon. Told my wife I will not neglect her on weekends. I will spend time with her. But this stuff's so exciting. How can you stop? She understands. She gets it. She celebrates it too. Okay, so let's do this. We want to get the ICOSA. Let's find the ICOSA contract. Okay. ICOSA address, ICOSA, yada yada, ICOSA contract. Okay, here we go. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find. Okay, so def get ICOSA, get hedron stakers. Okay. So hedron stake start is what we're looking at. Okay. That's in the first day. So why don't we just say from, and let's see if that gives us everyone. And then print len of events to anvil.server.callable, get hedron staker, and then let's run it here. So in this app console, we're going to say anvil.server.call, get hedron stakers, see if that tells us anything. Query will return more than, okay, so let's see what the, okay, so we're gonna have to do something like this, where we, rather than, so let's do Control Z. So for, so D, okay, so here, let's just say day equals 0. Our day is 1. And then we're going to say plus. Okay, so F equals implicit deployment block if A equals 1. If it's not equal to 1, then F is going to be T. So, and then T equals for okay, so here, let's do this. So F D equals to be a list. So for D in range of, so how many days have gone by, roughly? 300? No, 90, duh. So for D in range, let's just do like, it's like been what, like 80? Okay, so we're gonna append a start and a finish. So so from and to, that means that F equals F equals it's going to be icosa deployment block plus D times that. And then 2 equals icosa deployment block plus D plus 1 times 7137. So let's see if this, then this should give us, okay, so now we're going to do that f underscore t dot append f ft. So for 0, that would be f is icosa deployment block at the start, which is what it should be, and then 2 is d plus 1 times 7137. But then do we need to do 1 plus here to offset? Will we get to the big 1t? I hope so. Let's see. I don't know how this does if it includes. It probably does. So from and to. So we don't want any overlap. So that would mean, so ft is gonna, okay, why don't we just seed it with what we know? So icosa deployment block, and then all the way through icosa deployment block plus 7137. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So for D in range 80, we are going to say ft of D plus 1, we already have that one, ft of D plus 1 equals f and t, ft of D 0, comma, so prior equals ft of D, and next equals prior, so 0, so it's actually prior 1 plus 1 starts, and then the last one is what is itself 7138. And ft dot append next. So why don't we just test this out first? So we are going to have it now print T. So we're going to start with that. We're going to see if we can. So what we're doing is we're just going to pull the events per day, assuming the days are 7138 blocks, maybe some a little bit here, a little bit there, but we don't really care that much. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So 2817 to that. Okay, that looks right. It should be. Yeah, that should be right. And it should be no overlap. 817. So why don't we just, we're gonna just copy this whole thing. And we are gonna say, so A equals that whole thing. So for in A, we're gonna print 1 minus 0, and this we should see 7137. Yep. Okay. So we got that. So for D in range 80, I guess we don't even need to do that now. We have, let's just say F equals that, and T equals that. Now we're just going to say events equal ICOSA contract events as we're in stake start. Okay. So for E in events, so here's what we're gonna do. We're actually just gonna take events 0. We're gonna print events 0 so we can see what we're working with. And then we're just gonna call break here. So from, it's gonna be F. To block is gonna be T. Will the ICOSA from the heat stake be restaked? No, it's just going to be accumulating because we are giving back to the ICOSA community, and also because it would require like a whole ending of the stake sequence, and then we'd rather lock in and add capital instead of the ending stake and restarting. Lock in our points. Okay, so let's start that F to T. So we're working with. Day's not defined. Okay, that's fine. We got what we're looking for. So let's see what we're working with here. Let's do a JSON pretty. Make pretty. Come on. Whatever, we don't need it pretty. Just make it happen regardless. Okay, well, we know that args are the thing that matter to us. So our args are the attribute staker, beta, okay, and then all this stuff we don't really care about too much, right? So don't really care who, don't really care about that stuff. Do we care about block number? No, fuck it. I think we get a timestamp in here. Okay. So luckily we got our system here. So it's not break your flow. If you get a chance, hop on over to TikTok or something. You can link it for the DMs. I literally have to go in 5 minutes. Here, I'll tell you what. This task is going to literally take like hours. So here, let me take this off. I'll try to hop on there for a minute as I sign off. So we're making a background task. Get headroom stickers task.
On Tuesday, so that we can each like make time.
Actually, revision, I'm not going to be able to. Aren't you guys? Hop on stream now. Made some progress here. We'll pick this up in just a little bit. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.